Hi everyone, I will start with the introduction about syllables. A syllable is basically a small unit of sound that forms a word. It helps us organize sounds when we speak, and it also makes words easier to pronounce. Syllables are really important for stress, rhythm, and smooth pronunciation in English. When we speak, we don't pronounce every letter one by one. We speak in syllables. For example, the word cat has one syllable, cat. The word table has two syllables, table. So syllables help us know how a word should sound naturally when we speak. Now let's look at the structure of a syllable. A syllable usually has three parts: the onset, the peak or nucleus, and the coda. The onset is the first consonant sound in the syllable. For example, b in ba. The peak or nucleus is the loudest part, usually a vowel sound like a in ba. And the coda is the last consonant sound like t in bat. But here's something interesting. Sometimes a syllable doesn't have a vowel sound. In that case, some consonants like n or l can take the place of the vowel. These are called syllabic consonant. For example, sudden, where n becomes the peak, battle, and button. We can see in the IPA that the small vertical line under the consonant like n or l shows that the consonant is syllabic.
Syllabic consonant. A syllabic consonant is a consonant that functions as the peak of a syllable. It replaces a weak vowel, usually schwa, in an unstressed syllable. Syllabic consonants are marked with a small vertical line underneath the consonant symbol, like N with a small vertical line underneath for the syllabic nasal, L with a small vertical line underneath for the syllabic lateral, and R with a small vertical line underneath for the syllabic rhotic. The syllabic nasal. The nasal consonant N, taking the role of the vowel peak in a syllable. It occurs in unstressed weak syllable where the expected weak vowel, usually schwa, has been deleted. It is transcribed with a vertical line underneath the symbol. For example, sudden in theoretical schwa transcription is sudden, but the real pronunciation is sudden. Like written in theoretical schwa transcription is written, but in real pronunciation is written. And also for reason in theoretical schwa transcription is reason, but in real pronunciation is reason. N is overwhelmingly triggered by consonants that share the same place of articulation as N, which is the alveolar ridge. These consonants are the alveolar plosive and fricative: t, d, s, z. The mechanism. I use sudden for the example. First, start. The tongue tip is positioned against the alveolar ridge to create the preceding consonant. The airflow is blocked in the mouth. Second, the shortcut. Instead of moving the tongue away to create the central vowel schwa or the tongue stays exactly where it is. Third, the switch. The speaker simply lowers the soft palate. This redirects the blocked air out through the nasal cavity. And last, the result. The D transitions seamlessly and instantly into the nasal sound N, which is now the peak of a syllable. When we say words like sudden, our tongue is already touching the alveolar ridge to make the D sound. So, instead of moving the tongue away to make the vowel schwa, we take a shortcut We just lower the volume to let the air out through the nose, immediately turning D into an N.
The syllabic literal L. A syllabic literal consonant L occurs when a consonant is the nucleus center of a syllable, usually replacing the weak vowel a. It happens in unstressed syllables after consonants like T, D, or N. Formation rule occurs in the end of a word or in weak syllable, follow in consonant. In first speech, the vowel a is often dropped and a becomes the syllabic center of the word. Examples: little, 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 beetle, beetle, people, people, people. Explanation 1. The tongue touches the alveolar ridge like when pronouncing T or D. 2. The vowel a is not pronounced, the tongue stays in place. 3. Air flows along the sides of the tongue pronounces the literal sound a. 4. Acts like a vowel, giving the rhythm of the syllable.
On this slide, I will explain the phonological function of syllabic variation. Syllabic variation happens when a consonant takes the role of a vowel, becoming the nucleus of a syllable. This usually occurs in a sonorant sounds such as n, and The main reason this happens is speech economy, which means speakers try to make a pronunciation faster and easier. For example, instead of saying button with a vowel in the second syllable, English speakers often say it as button with the syllable n. This makes the speech more efficient. Okay, on the next slide, I will compare the syllabic consonants with the schwa sound. The schwa is still a weak vowel, while a syllabic consonant removes the vowel completely and lets the consonant become the center of the syllable, like in little. We can also see a variation of which appears mostly in non-rhotic accents, such as the British English, where is not always pronounced strongly. For example, better is in British English, but better is in American English. So is less common than and or n.